Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today we're going to be reacting to a TikTok. I've actually seen a few videos about this topic lately besides just this one, which sparked me wanting to make this video in the first place. As always, I have some thoughts and key takeaways that we're going to discuss after we watch when we reconvene, and of course this will be from my perspective as a woman, but I would love to know some of your thoughts and opinions from a male perspective in the comments. So maybe jot them down while you're watching, whatever you got to do. Would love to hear from you guys after you watch the video. Okay, so no more to say, let's get into it.
There's no perks for being a good woman in this day and age. There's no market for it. You be a woman that doesn't show her body, isn't out in the club, doesn't get drunk, doesn't do this, doesn't dance, doesn't do all of these things. There isn't, your inbox is like, what is that thing that... Tumbleweed. That's what your inbox will look like. You take one selfie with your chest out, with your ass out, someone's buying you a ticket to come out. Now tell me what is going to appeal to women and do more. If the standards of promiscuity were like, you're promiscuous, I ain't putting a penny in you, there would be no finessing, it would be impossible. But if strippers are making 10K a night, if girls with OnlyFans are making 10K a day, if a girl posts a thirst trap and gets flown out to Dubai, where are we going to direct women?
Rough. I really like this creator, by the way. I've seen a handful of her videos before, and I just think she carries herself so well. She's very eloquent and well-spoken, and it's great to see a positive female role model like that on social media. I'm pretty sure she's big on TikTok, and I know she's gone on some of the other podcasts in the space. Obviously, this is a clip from a longer conversation, and I haven't seen the rest, so I don't know what else was said. Very interesting video, and I certainly agree with many of the points that she made, so I'm going to break down some of my initial thoughts. But to start, I will say I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit here, and then after that I'm going to get into the points that I agreed with and kind of elaborate on those a little bit more. But just to make it interesting, I thought I would give a different perspective. So the first thing I want to talk about is this no perks for good women thing, and maybe this is a rather unpopular opinion here, but again, we're playing devil's advocate. I think there are plenty of perks for good women. So what are the perks for a good woman? A good man, a healthy committed relationship based off of aligned values, goals, and morals, mutual respect. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to be with a man who followed a bunch of Instagram models or paid women for explicit content, and I certainly wouldn't want to be a woman who was doing those things. Sure, maybe a woman who's not posting thirst traps with her butt out on the gram might not have a flooded inbox, free designer bags, or be getting flown out to Dubai or some other luxury vacation spot by a man she doesn't even know or who she's never met before. But is that really the ultimate reward anyways? What a sad state our society is in to believe that that is the ultimate perk or reward. It sure isn't for me, and I know it's not for a lot of other women as well. Unfortunately, with the rise of social media and everyone being exposed to luxury vacations, luxury handbags, living this life of luxury and leisure, thinking that that is the, ultimate goal in life, or that you can only be successful if you have those things, or happy if you have those things, I understand then why people believe that to be true, and it's incredibly sad if I'm being transparent. I also want to mention that what you put out into the world is what you attract. You are what you attract, as they say. And I think women who are posting this type of content and getting this ultimate reward of being flown out, or handbags, or, they're strippers making 10K a night, or they're making all this money on OnlyFans, the men who that is attracting are not even men that they would want to be with. And maybe their goal is not to get a man. Maybe they just want the money. Maybe they want the handbags. Maybe that is the ultimate reward to them. But then it's interesting because then those type of women will often complain about the men that they're attracting and not understand that you are what you attract. What you put out into the world is what you are going to attract back to you. They aren't interested in any of the men who are paying them on OnlyFans, or the men wouldn't be paying them on OnlyFans. Deep down, they think the men who are doing this and giving them money and giving them all this free validation and attention and trips and handbags are pathetic. I hear them say it on podcasts. They don't respect you. They don't like you. They would never actually want to be with you in real life, and that's why you're having to pay them to send a message. And then the men that they do like, that they are attracting, end up treating them like crap or dating multiple different women because they're constantly thirsting and lusting after women on the internet that they don't know. That doesn't sound great to me. Maybe I'm crazy, but that just sounds awful. And just a note for the men that are watching, there are a ton of women out there who are not posting crazy stuff online, who do not have high body counts or OnlyFans. You just typically aren't exposed to women like this if you watch channels who consistently highlight poorly behaved women. And because of this, you might not think they exist, but I promise that they do. So again, to offer that different perspective here, I do believe that there are perks and rewards for good women, or whatever you want to call them. It's being with someone whose morals, values, and life goals align with you, and being with someone who is attracted to what you're putting out into the world. So yes, to offer a different perspective, I do think that there are perks and rewards for good women. It just might not be what society deems as being the ultimate reward. I think a lot of people don't realize that short-term validation or attention or a luxury handbag or being flown out might bring you momentary happiness, but it's fleeting. It's not fulfilling long-term. And I know this varies from person to person depending on what they view as success, what they view as happiness, what they view as being this ultimate reward. But I have to think that a good woman, or whatever we're calling her, would not want these random things from strange men. I think you should want to be with someone who is aligned with you on these major things in your life, like values, morals, and life goals. And ultimately, the reward that you get from that should reflect your values, right? And I will also say, I just posted a photo on Instagram wearing a dress that shows no cleavage, no skin. You can see my ankles and my arms, and I have a hat on. I look like I'm going to a royal dinner. Okay, and I got 6,253 likes on a photo without showing my butt or my boobs. So yes, there is a market for it. Just saying. The next thing I want to talk about is, do men reward and encourage poor behavior? Yes, they do. So on the flip side, and to validate a lot of the points she made, because let's be real, she's not wrong about this. I do understand that there's a biological component at play here, but unfortunately, I do think there's a lot of truth in the fact that many men do not have standards for themselves, and they do indeed encourage and reward poor behaved women. And now, this might look different for what you are looking for as a man. Maybe you're a guy who's really into hookup culture and flings, and you do not view things in a long-term committed way. Well, then encouraging poor behavior really doesn't matter for you, because you're not going to be with that girl long-term anyway. I do not promote hookup culture here. You all know that. If you're coming to me for advice about that, I'm not your girl. I am into building long-term healthy relationships with commitment that last. So keep that in mind when you're watching, but there are men who allow women to treat them poorly or use them solely for attention, money, designer bags, vacations. The list goes on. And I wouldn't recommend any of you to do that or participate in that, because it's just a sign that you're being used. I've done many videos about it, how to tell she's using you, how to tell you're the fill-in guy, why you shouldn't be a simp. The content here is endless because it's something that I see so often. And honestly, some of my most asked questions, situations you asked for my advice on, involve women using you for the things that I just listed. So it's happening often. And I think a lot of the time it's because you are rewarding poorly behaved women. You are allowing people to treat you poorly. What you allow is what will continue. And it certainly doesn't do you any favors to reward poorly behaved women. And let's be very real, if there were no market for women being promiscuous, having OnlyFans accounts, posting naked photos, I don't know that it would be happening as much as it currently is. Women know that men will pay for it, or give them attention, give them validation, give them an ego boost, give them vacations and money and gifts, so they continue to do it. We see this happening so often. We see content about how to use men. We see content about how to get men to pay you for photos or pay you to DM you. And women know they can make a quick buck on it. It's easy money. Women are the ultimate swindlers when it comes to getting money from men. It's so easy. I have to think that if men said, you know what, I'm not going to give this woman a dime, or flood her inbox with validation, or fly her out, or give her anything, women would probably stop doing it as much. I just have an inkling there. And if you don't believe me, porn makes more money than the NBA, the NFL, and Major League Baseball combined. So clearly there is a market for it. And even if it's not porn, I mean the attention and validation that women get on a daily basis when they post a selfie, or they post their boobs out, or they post their butt. You would never, as a man, you would never understand It's absurd, okay? It's absurd. So if you're a guy who's looking for commitment or a long-term serious relationship and not this hookup culture BS, raise your standards. Don't let yourself be bamboozled or used, because who you choose to spend your life with is the most important decision you will ever make as a man. Don't waste your money, don't waste your time, and be able to walk away if something is not serving you in return. I also wanted to touch on a crucial point here of what men want. Because I think with all of this being said, I do believe that there's often a big difference between the women that men might lust over or hook up with versus women that they actually want to marry and build a life with. And this is for the men that the women who are posting these things actually want, right? Because on one end, we have the men who have no boundaries or standards for themselves, who would accept anything and everything from a woman no matter how bad it is, which is what I just talked about. But then on the other end, we have the men who get tons of women, who have so many options. They hook up with women, they're very into the casual stuff. They don't typically take things in a long-term direction with these women that they are casually seeing. And sometimes I think women don't necessarily understand this and then are left a little bit confused when the men that they actually like and the men that they actually want don't want to marry them. And these, again, are the guys that have a lot of options. These women have no problem getting attention and money from men, but when it comes to commitment, that component is missing. And again, from the men that they want. And I would love to hear what you think from a male point of view down in the comments of, what men are looking for. I do think, again, just from my own experience being on YouTube, making content for men, interacting with a lot of you, what you might look for short term seems to be very different than what you look for long term. And I know a lot of you don't even do that short term stuff, which you're my kind of people. I like that. To each their own, do what makes you happy, but you know where I stand on that topic. And if you are a guy who wants to be with this good woman or traditional woman, or again, however you want to describe it, I think what would be considered a good woman would be different to a lot of you depending on what you're looking for and what your values are. But regardless, you got to be a good man. You have to be a man that good woman would want to be with too. And I'll give my personal opinion here because I can't speak for everyone, but in my eyes, a good man would not be paying for explicit content online. He would not be lusting after all of these Instagram models and liking them and following them and giving them validation and attention and money and flying them out. That's not what a good man is to me. Maybe you have a different opinion on that, and that's fine, but I just think it really comes down to being what you want to attract. And I have to know that if what I'm putting into the world is attracting the wrong type of people, then I am doing something wrong. And I think I'll leave you with that. So guys, that is all I have for today's video. If you liked it or found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to be in the loop for when I release new content. Again, I would love to hear your perspectives, opinions, and thoughts down in the comments below from a male point of view. If you're a woman watching, let me know. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Would love to hear your experience as well. Let's just get a nice little conversation going down in the comment section. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me over on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I love connecting with all of you guys over on there as well. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.